everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to see about the fate of Titanic submersible. The announcement Thursday that all aboard perished when the submersible imploded near the site of the iconic shipwreck brought a tragic end to a 5-day saga that included an urgent around-the-clock search and a worldwide vigil for the vessel known as the Titan. The investigation into what happened was already underway and would continue in the area around Titanic where debris from the submersible was found, said Rear John Mulger of the 1st Coast Guard District. The first hint of a timeline came Thursday evening when a senior U.S. Navy official said that after the Titan was reported missing Sunday, the Navy went back and analyzed its acoustic data and found an anomaly that was consistent with an implosion or explosion in the general vicinity of where the vessel was operating when communications were lost. The official spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss a sensitive acoustic detection system. Those killed were Stockton Rush, the CEO of OceanGate Expeditions, the company that owned and operated the submersible, to members of a prominent Pakistani family, Shahzada Dawood, and his son Suleiman Dawood. British adventurer Hamish Harding. Titanic expert Paul Henry Nargeolet, OceanGate, which has been chronicling the Titanic's decay and the underwater ecosystem around it via yearly voyages since 2021 that included paying tourists, released a statement calling all 5 people killed true explorers who shared a distinct spirit of adventure and a deep passion for exploring and protecting the world's oceans. The Titan launched at 6 a.m. Sunday and was reported overdue Sunday afternoon about 435 miles 700 kilometers south of Johns, Newfoundland. Rescuers rushed ships, planes and other equipment to the site of the disappearance. Authorities were hoping underwater sounds detected Tuesday and Wednesday might help narrow their search, whose coverage area had been expanded to thousands of miles, twice the size of Connecticut, and in waters 2.5 miles for kilometers deep. Any sliver of hope that remained for finding the crew alive, however, was wiped away early Thursday, when the submersible's 96-hour supply of air was expected to run out and the Coast Guard announced that a debris field had been found roughly 1,600 feet 488 meters from the Titanic. The Coast Guard said Thursday that the sounds heard in the previous days were likely generated by something other than the Titan. There doesn't appear to be any connection between the noises and the location of the debris on the seafloor, Mulger said. The Navy official who spoke of the anomaly heard Sunday said the Navy passed on the information to the Coast Guard, which continued its search because the Navy did not consider the data to be definitive. Obviously, the slightest problem with the hull and its implosion is immediate, Tron said. He opined that Nargeolet was aware of the risks but would have been powered by a thirst for further exploration of the Titanic wreck and its fauna and flora. Director James Cameron, who has made multiple dives to the wreckage of the Titanic, told the BBC that he knew an extreme catastrophic event had happened as soon as he heard the submersible had lost navigation and communications at the same time. He said briefings about 96 hours of oxygen supply and banging noises were a prolonged and nightmarish charade that gave the crew members' families false hope. At least 46 people successfully traveled on OceanGate's submersible to the Titanic wreck site in 2021 and 2022, according to letters the company filed with the U.S. District Court in Norfolk, Virginia, that oversees matters involving the Titanic shipwreck. But questions about the submersible's safety were raised by a former company employee and former passengers. David Lockridge, OceanGate's former director of marine operations, argued in 2018 that the method the company devised for ensuring the soundness of the hull relying on acoustic monitoring that could detect cracks and pops as the hull strained under pressure, was inadequate and could subject passengers to potential extreme danger in an experimental submersible. This was problematic because this type of acoustic analysis would only show when a component is about to fail, often milliseconds before an implosion, and would not detect any existing flaws prior to putting pressure onto the hull. Lockridge's attorneys wrote in a wrongful termination claim. OceanGate disagreed. Lockridge is not an engineer and was not hired or asked to perform engineering services on the Titan, it said. And it noted he was fired after refusing to accept assurances from the company's lead engineer that the acoustic monitoring and testing protocol was, in fact, better suited to detect any flaws than a method Lockridge proposed. One of the company's first customers likened a dive he made to the site 2 years ago to a suicide mission. Imagine a metal tube a few meters long with a sheet of metal for a floor. You can't stand. You can't kneel. Everyone is sitting close to or on top of each other, said Arthur Leubel, a retired businessman and adventurer from Germany. You can't be claustrophobic. Leubel said the dive was repeatedly delayed to fix a problem with the battery and the balancing weights, pushing the length of the voyage to 10.5 hours, much of it conducted in near darkness to save batteries. Nikolai Roderman, a deep-sea ecologist and lecturer in marine biology at the University of Portsmouth, England, said the disappearance of the Titan highlights the dangers and unknowns of deep-sea tourism. Even the most reliable technology can fail, and therefore accidents will happen. With the growth in deep-sea tourism, we must expect more incidents like this. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more updates.